What's going on, guys? It's Noob603, and today I'm bringing you episode 2 of my Q&A weekly series. And I don't remember how I started it last week, but this week we're going to start with the only 2 Twitter questions that I had, and then from there we'll move on to questions I got from the video. So first up is from Nez, or at NoahClay1. Do you watch any esports? Now this is kind of an interesting question because I'm not entirely sure that what I'm going to say is accurate. I really love watching StarCraft 2 games, and the reason for that is because I fucking suck at StarCraft 2. When Fakethrough and I were playing with a couple friends on a regular basis, Fakethrough and I actually did pretty decent. 2v2 we were gold for a little bit there, and then we stopped playing for a little bit. 1v1 I didn't even know what I got to. We were on the cusp of hitting diamond for so long. We were top 5 in gold league for so long, but we just couldn't break into that. So at any rate, I love watching StarCraft 2, but I love watching replays on YouTube. So I don't know if that's technically considered esports. I mean, they're replays of esport events. So I guess yes, at least I consider it a yes. So I'm going to say yes. Question number 2 is from Adam Drew. Who do you think is the best BF4 YouTuber? Personally, you and Level Cap are my favorites. That is a great question, and I'm going to make it pretty simple, but I don't want anyone to feel slighted by this. This is a tricky question because it's kind of a double-edged sword. I run the risk of possibly insulting or making someone disappointed in answering this if I don't mention them. And there are others that I really enjoy, so just because I don't mention you doesn't mean that I don't like you. So with that said, my favorite, who do I think is the best BF4 YouTuber? I would have to say Jack Frags, if we're going to say the best. The dude is really good at the game, he's really smart, and he understands it on a pretty damn good level. But to kind of expand upon it, as everyone knows, I'm a big fan of In The Works Media and Scanner Barkley. Those are my top 2 guys, and I really value their opinions on anything Battlefield 4 related. And so those 3 are at the top of my Battlefield 4 YouTuber list. That's going to wrap up the Twitter questions. I'm sorry I didn't have that many. I forgot to freaking capture them when the first video or the last week's video went up, so they got buried in my timeline and I couldn't find them. So when this goes up, I will be sure to make sure I capture every single one that I want to use so I have more Twitter questions to use next week. Question number 1 from the video questions is from Nick Kozul. Not sure where you're located, pick one, barbecue or Italian food. Pro beer tip, I'm a chef and have a recommendation. Founders Kentucky Breakfast Stout. That sounds amazing. I used to never like stouts, but now I'm starting to really like it as I become more of a beer connoisseur. I will give that a shot. I appreciate the recommendation. And guys, beer recommendations are always highly welcomed. As for food, you threw a very tough one. Barbecue and Italian food are really good, but I'm going to have to say barbecue, because there's just nothing beats cooking out on the grill with some really good barbecue food in the middle of the summer, at the end of the day, sun's coming down, day starts to cool off, grab a cold beer or just any cold refreshment, sit back and relax in the chair while the grill's going, you can't beat it, and that's the beauty of barbecue food. Next up from SoccerDude023, what are some of your hobbies outside of gaming? P.S. Love the vids. Thank you very much, sir. Without a doubt, I've mentioned this before, but in case anyone doesn't know, bass fishing. I am ridiculously addicted to bass fishing. My dad got into bass fishing before I was born. I'm 29 now, and he got me into it since I was a wee little shitlin, and I've been hooked ever since. There was a small gap in high school where I got completely buried in freestyle BMX, and that was one of my biggest hobbies for actually quite a long time. But at some point, it was actually right when I got into college, I started getting back into fishing because not many people ride BMX anymore. And ever since then, dude, that's pretty much all I do. In the summer, it was always funny because we've been doing the channel for almost 4 years now, and as we were coming up on summer, Fake Theory would be yeah, dude, we can do this, and we can do this, and we'll be able to do that. All talking about gaming stuff. I'm like, dude, it's the summer. I go fishing during the summer, and he'd always be like, what the fucking shit? And he always rage mode. It was funny to me because he hated it when it came to summertime because I was never around. I was always fishing. Now that I have a son, I didn't get out as much as I used to, but I'm fortunate enough to get out at least once a week. Before I had my son, I was going out 2, 3, or 4 times a week. Almost always 3. Occasionally I'll be able to fit in 2, and if I'm really lucky, I'll be able to fit in 4 days, 4 trips a week, which was pretty awesome, although the gas bill really sucked. Next up, the Suave 101. Would you let us use your Shustybang name for servers so we can play with Shustybang fans in different games and promote your channel? Your thoughts, please. This one I really wanted to cover because we had an issue with this in the past. Not so much an issue, but the fact that we found the Shustybang name being used without our permission, and that really rubbed me the wrong way because I didn't know what that person's intentions were. I didn't know what their goals were using the name. I don't know if they were just a fan, and I don't remember the situation. I just know that it was used, and it was used without our permission at first. I didn't know if they're a fan and they're just showing support by using our name, or if they were trying to use our name and ride off our success to build like a little community for themselves. But at any rate, there's a lot of downsides to what can happen with that because I have no control over it. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to say no. I will not allow something like that to go out. So if you see anything being used with the Shustybang name and I don't specifically talk about it, it is guaranteed that they are not using it with my permission, and that won't fly. So if you do see anything like that, please let me know. It's not a matter of me being selfish or anything. It's a matter of protecting the Shustybang name and image. It's one of those, it's just better to be safe than sorry. So I apologize, but unfortunately, no, I cannot allow that. Next up from Pasalacqua. Snoov, who is your favorite video skit producer on YouTube, i.e. Smosh, Freddie Wong, Corridor Digital? You hit 2 to 3. Fuck Smosh, I don't care about them whatsoever. Freddie Wong and Corridor Digital are some of the best video skit producers out there on YouTube. Hands down, bar none. That is as far as it goes for like live skit stuff. There are other people out there, like some really, really good cartoon-driven YouTube channels out there that I freaking live for. Like Film Cow, Carbots Animations, he's really good. Eagle Raptor when he was making videos. Like, I love all those original cartoons these guys create. I would love to see more channels like that on YouTube. And even the guys that, that do the things like Freddie Wong and Corridor Digital do. They do fantastic work. I love those guys. Never miss a single video they make. Next up from Dead Nullerman, women's butts or boobs? Now, Iceman Oz actually asked this question as well, but he was a couple days after you. So, I applaud you, sir, for thinking of it ahead of time. And while I do appreciate a really nice booty, nothing beats a nice set of boobs. Next up, Obito Uchiha. Sorry, I'm probably butchering that, and I apologize. Do you own a gun in real life? Yes, I do. I own a rifle. That is all I own for the time being. It is a Ruger 1022 rifle, so it shoots 22 caliber bullets. There's nothing overly fancy about it. It's a nice gun. It's highly customizable in that it's kind of like the Honda Civics of rifles. A bunch of different companies make a shit ton of different components that you can easily swap out on this thing, and that's why I got it. I wanted to get something I could do like some long-range plinking with it, shooting at targets like 100 yards or something. So when I say long-range, I don't like mean fucking uber-crazy sniper long-range shots, but, kind of long-range, not standing like 30, 40 feet away with a pistol and taking aims at, or, taking shots at a target. Next up, Elf Loved. What is your favorite cookie and how would you eat it? With milk but separate, with soda? Dude, this one, I actually, like, my jaw dropped. I was like, what the who in the fuck drinks soda when they're eating cookies or eats cookies while drinking soda? Who would do that? That's like sacrilege, man. You don't fucking eat cookies and drink soda at the same time. You must be a Nazi. I don't understand who would do such a thing. Oh, man. So my favorite cookie, I'm going with the old standby. The one that you can never go wrong with is Oreos. Outside of that, just your regular homemade chocolate chip cookies are also pretty good. Hard to beat those. And it's got to be with milk. Sometimes I can go without the milk, but I enjoy having my cookies with milk. Alright, last but not least, and this one may take me a few minutes to get through, but this one kind of hit me in ways I did not expect it to, and I did not enjoy. This one's from Julian, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Man, we went from the best weapon reviews to this, what you call Q&A, where you answer the most useless questions. What happened, Shusty? How is this gonna make up for the weapon reviews drop you mentioned as the reason why you stopped this series? Dude, come on, I don't want to unsubscribe, but what is this? I'm going to go ahead and recommend that you unsubscribe right now. And anyone else that feels the exact same way as this, please unsubscribe right now. There is a reason why I've stopped doing the weapon reviews as you know them. Back in Battlefield 3, when we started doing our weapon reviews, like, we were one of the only people doing it for Battlefield 3. Level Cap actually ended up doing his almost at the same exact time that we did ours. There's a couple other guys that were doing them too, but, I mean, they were few and far between. And we were able to reap the benefits from that. Like, every single video did phenomenal, and that's where a lot of our growth came from, for better or for worse. With Battlefield 4, everyone and their brother decided to do the same fucking thing. The problem with that is a lot of these people saw the success that ourselves and many, the few others were having doing these, and they wanted to jump on the bandwagon. So what happened was we had a very diluted market, and there are some people that were still able to rise to the top, and we weren't. Our videos weren't doing that well views-wise, and that was kind of disheartening. But it wasn't that big of a deal when it was Chris and I doing this. We were able to split up the workload pretty easily, and it wasn't like an overly complicated thing. All said and done, between the two of us, it was upwards of 5 hours maximum per person to make one of those reviews. And that's doable. For the amount of views that we were seeing for him, that was okay. We were on the high side of it. Now fast forward to when Fake Throw left, and I tried to continue them on my own. And I was seeing about 6,000 views per video, which some people will say is really good, but For where I am in my life right now, with how much time I choose to try and dedicate to the channel, it did not make any sense for me whatsoever to continue doing those reviews. It was taking me, alone, 10 hours to make one of those 4 to 5 minute videos. That includes the moment I sit down and pick out what weapon I'm going to use, going through and playing with it to get at least 200 kills to do the review with it, capping all the footage, doing all of the editing, just the whole 9 yards. It takes about 10 hours of my time to do one of those videos. That is an obscene amount of time to be putting into any video for such a small amount of views. And it's one of those, like, if I didn't have a family, if I didn't have maybe such a demanding full-time job where I could dedicate more time to being down in my man cave where I could play and just make videos, I wouldn't have thought about it. I'd be like, whatever, this is what people want to see. It's something that I did enjoy doing because I loved the end product that came from it. But where I'm at right now, I just don't have 10 hours to waste on a video that's only going to get me 6,000 views. In 10 hours, I can make 4 or 5 other videos for the channel. So it just came down to it that it didn't make sense for me to sit here killing myself for one video a week and then barely having any time left in the rest of my week to either just play and have fun in general or to make any other content whatsoever. Those weapon reviews were eating up almost the entirety of the little bit of time I could dedicate to being downstairs every single week. And it just got to a point, as I said, it was unacceptable. So that is what has happened with the weapon reviews. With that said, I have an idea to try and resurrect it on a much more simplified version that's going to make it so I only need like 2 hours of my time to put it in the video. And that is going to be a significant difference that maybe I can bring them back in a different format that you guys would enjoy. I'm going to try it out. It's one of those, it might work out and you guys like it and hey, everyone's happy, or you all hate it and like, okay, no problem, I'll just go back to not doing them. I don't want to sound like an asshole about this because I'm not. I'm trying to be as clear and concise as possible so that you guys understand where it is I'm coming from. The biggest and most important thing you have to know is that with the limited family time I have and my wife working nights, I don't get to see my son as much as some people probably think I do, and I get to see my wife even less because the way our work schedules work and making sure that at least one of us is always home with our son so he never has to go to a babysitter, it just doesn't leave that much time for YouTube anymore. Things change, you know. I get responsibilities that I choose to keep because I want to be a good father and everything. I want to be a good husband. So that's why I can't dedicate 10 hours of my week to a 1 5-minute video for 6,000 views. Maybe, and again, this is going to sound probably pretty awful, but you got to understand it from my point, or just from a sensible point, really. If those views, or if those videos were getting like 100,000 views a piece, then yeah, I could justify it. And you know what? I would probably be only doing those videos anyway, kind of what Xbox Ahoy did. I know the guy got really busy and everything, and he's just gone to doing those weapon reviews only. But there's bread and butter, and they get him a lot of views. So like, the investment to reward on what he's doing makes sense. It doesn't make sense for me at this point. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. And actually, I shouldn't be sorry. I don't have to be sorry for it, because I choose not to do it because it means more time with my family. And that's win-win for me in the end. You know, I gotta shut up because I'm rambling and I keep telling myself not to ramble, and I'm gonna say something that's gonna come off really awful, even though I don't intend it to, but someone's gonna blow it up into something I don't want it to be and that it's not supposed to be, and well, that's just gonna be the end of it. So I hope that you guys stuck around for this. This was a rather long one because there was so much to talk about, especially with that last point, but I do appreciate those that support me for me and who I am and not just the game that I play. That means more to me than any of you guys could probably ever possibly imagine. That's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, leave a question down in the comments below. And then if you want to send me a question on Twitter instead, don't forget to throw in the hashtag Q&A. You can either send it to @Snoop603 or @Shustybang. It doesn't matter. And I will do a better job of making sure I capture more questions from Twitter than I did in this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you later.